The 4-day work week, for some, seems like an idea out of a nonfiction novel, and it's something that they think is impossible and will never be implemented in the real world. But in fact, there are already people that work at a company and were fortunate enough to have the skills to get hired for a company that offers the opportunity for a 4-day work week, meaning that they only go to work Monday through Thursday, and for Friday through Sunday, they get their own personal time to themselves to do whatever they want, meaning that they have a whole day back every week. And if you do the math, if you work for that same job with the same schedule for 5 years, you get an entire year of time back into your life, which is an insane fact if you just have one day removed from your work schedule. But I wanted to go over this article really quick and go over some real information that recently came out. This article was written on March 30. And then I'm going to give you my personal opinions on the 4-day work week, and you could just write your own comments and responses in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to hear my thoughts on oh, excuse me, some real world news on work, on life, on fitness, and all of that. But basically, let's get to this article so I can start talking about what I'm supposed to talk about. Alright, so here's the highlights of this article. The 4-day work week has gained rapid momentum in recent years. The number of companies experimenting with variations of a flexible work week is on the rise. Researchers predict shorter weeks could be normalized in the next 5 to 10 years. The 4-day work week, the reason why this news is just coming out, and the reason why this topic is trending, and the reason why I'm actually writing this article is because there was a new legislation that Bernie Sanders called for in a congressional hearing uh, for a 4-day work week or a 32-hour national work week. Now, that being said, you see this part where it's specifically 32-hour national work week. I actually think some companies right now are doing a 4-day work week, but they take the 8 hours from Friday and spread it across the other days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So instead of their employees working 8-hour days, they're working 10 Monday through Thursday, but they get Friday off, and they get that whole 3-day weekend, which for a lot of people would be good news because it feels like a mini vacation every week. And it would definitely be a shift in their schedule, a dramatic one. Anyways, continuing on to this article, this idea isn't new. The idea was actually this idea was brought to the public in 1970s when Richard Nixon was an advocate for the 4-day work week, but it wasn't that popular back then because that was the 70s. Work-life balance was a lot different back then, and there wasn't really a reason to do a 4-day work week. The price of living was a lot cheaper during this time, and I think just overall the population wasn't as condensed in big cities as it is now. For example, if you lived in Los Angeles in the 1970s all the way through the 90s, traffic wasn't even an issue. I mean, you could have a full-time corporate job, you could go to work, come back, have enough time to go to the gym and all that stuff, and the wage you were getting paid, you could probably put a down payment on a house, buy a new car, do all those things, right? But now, if you live in LA, traffic is a big part of your life. The price of oil is a big part of your uh, a salary. Like in the 70s, gas was like, it wasn't even a concern. Homeless people could probably afford gas, but now you have to pay to go to work, and you have to waste your time sitting in traffic. So it's a huge, huge change when you compare working a full time job now in a big city versus back then. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, this is the reason why the work life balance and the 4-day work week wasn't popular back then, because it wasn't that much of a concern as it is now. That's just my opinion. This was not in the article, but I'm giving you my 2 cents right now. Um, but anyways, back to the article. The 4-day work week is a lot more popular among like millennials and Gen Z because we had different goals. Especially because during the pandemic, a lot of people's schedules changed because they started working from home, and that made people realize like, oh my god, like if I have all this time back, I could do all of these things. And during COVID and during all the shutdowns, people started picking up new hobbies, started utilizing their time more effectively in to benefit their personal lives and to do what they want, whether it was playing game or building a side business and actually developing their career and developing skills to get better jobs. Everyone used their time differently. A lot of people did grow as better people during COVID. That being said, a lot of people did struggle and a lot of people did lose the opportunity to do the things they wanted to do during COVID. So it was for better or for worse. But in terms of getting your time back, everyone did get time back. Um, so yeah, COVID had a huge impact on the perspective of a 4-day work week, especially because a lot of jobs are demanding you to go back to the office now. People are feeling a little bit resentful to these companies, so they are trying to advocate for the 4-day work week. So I think Bernie Sanders will have a strong young support behind this legislation that he's going for. Another cool thing in this article is that there's a developer in Scotland by the name of Phil McParlane who started the website 4dayweek.io, and that is here. And they have job listings for a lot of companies that are offering the 4-day work week with really good pay. That being said, keep in mind this is going to be a very competitive job board. I think it's really cool, but I haven't even applied to any of these jobs myself because I'm confident that I wouldn't even get past the first step, as this website probably has a lot of traffic of very, very talented people who have a higher skill set than I do. But if you think you want to give it a shot, it won't hurt to try. So go to this website here, 4-day work. I mean, I keep saying it wrong. 4dayweek.io. This is not a sponsor of the video. This is just me giving you guys a heads up that go to this website if you want to look for opportunities to improve your schedule. Anyways, what else? Oh yeah, so there's a lot more companies experimenting with the 4-day work week because a lot of companies know that this is a big incentive to have, and it's going to be very, very attractive to people that are looking for higher quality jobs, and they could use this benefit. They can use this amenity or incentive to attract really high quality employees with high skill sets. So, for example, if like a senior developer or something's working at Tesla where they really are against work from home, and that really highly skilled developers looking to, have more of a work life balance, if you're a smaller startup, you have the opportunity to scoop up these very, very highly skilled people by offering this 4-day work week opportunity. So I think that's what's going on here. And hopefully, a lot of really skilled people are going to gravitate towards these jobs so that it sets an example for smaller companies and just more companies to follow steps and offer these amenities to their employees. And as a result, we're just going to see a 4-day work week more prevalent on these job boards. And we wouldn't even have to wait for the legislation to pass for within 5 to 10 years, but rather if it's effective in scooping up really high talent, companies will just do it themselves instead of waiting for the government to push it through. So yeah, that's what's going on. And that's basically all the things I wanted to talk about in the article. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the theory of technological intensification, which is a theory that is relevant to the 4-day work week, and why I personally think that, the counter argument that only lazy people want to work 4 days a week is false. I think that companies will always want their employees just to work more for the sake of working more, for the sake of, boosting up productivity and boosting up profits, no matter what the case is. And that goes back to this theory of technological intensification. And let me explain why, and I really hope I don't butcher this up. So this theory is basically, let me pull up ChatGPT here. Um, this theory, to explain it, is basically, this is how it goes. When technology advances within society and it makes people work more efficiently and better, for example, how we have the internet, we have computers that could do amazing things a lot faster than humans can. Um, when it allows people to work more efficient, work more faster, and do their jobs for companies faster, it doesn't necessarily mean that this technology will be used to improve the lives of the employees, regardless of whether they're still producing the same productivity and the same results that they were prior to the technology. Even if they're using the technology to produce the same results in a shorter amount of time, companies and employers will not just take their results produced at a shorter amount of time, but rather they're going to tell the employees, hey, I know you use this technology to finish your work in 3 hours instead of eight because this new thing came out. But rather of me letting you go home, I'm gonna give you more work because you have more time now, and I'm not gonna pay you more. I'm just gonna give you more work. So that's what technological intensification means. It means technology doesn't improve the lives of the employees. It just intensifies the productivity, and it allows the employee. It allows the employer to make the employee have more workload, because now, because of the technology, the employees are now able to do more work. So here's a I probably butchered that, but I don't have a script. This is right off the top of my head, but I did prepare this to explain it better. Okay, so here is my beautiful graph. Okay, so on the left side here you have productivity, right? And right here you have workers' quality of life. So the blue represents technology, all right? So as technology advances, the productivity goes up. You see that? But the worker's quality of life stays the same. When in theory, whenever a new technology comes out, it's always marketed like, oh, this new technology is going to come out and you should be excited because your life's going to be easier. This new CMS came out, or this new version of Shopify, or this new Excel update is going to make your life easier because, it's going to shorten your workload. Your time to accomplish this job will be decreased by 50%. It's not going to help. It's not going to give you more time. It's just going to give you more free time to do more work for your company. So as we could see this AI boom here, which is happening sort of right now, the worker you could kind of tell the workers' quality of life may have dipped a little bit because of all the layoffs, but we're pretty much the same. You would assume that because AI could do all these amazing things that the companies will continue to pay the workers and just say, oh hey, you know what, since you could use ChatGPT to write your articles, and you could just edit them, and you have more free time because it could like write rough drafts for you. Just you could just work for 4 hours every day and go home, and we'll pay you more, and the company will still make the same amount of money. But that's not the case because the technology is good. Companies see that they could just lay people off and utilize the AI to make more profit. Now it's not just AI; it's anything. Let's just say this is like a fictional example, but let's just say we were getting paid to do Uber Eats, right? But cars didn't exist, so you were using horses, and each delivery took 2 hours to deliver Uber Eats, right? And then you were getting paid, let's just say, I don't know, $100 a day. to do 4 deliveries. So $25 per delivery. But let's just say overnight someone invented the car and the car was available for everyone. So now you're able to do 30 deliveries in, I don't know, one day. And you think you're going to get paid more. But instead, what Uber does is, okay, you know what? Instead of paying you $25 per delivery, now that you have a car and we know it's easier and we know everyone drives a car, we're going to give you $2 per delivery. So if you do 30 deliveries, that's $60. so so your pay goes down, your deliveries goes up, your quality of life is kind of the same, maybe a little bit worse, but the service is better, the delivery times are better, and your customers might be more satisfied because shit's getting delivered more faster, but your actual life is the same. Whether you were delivering only 4 Uber Eats packages per day on a horse or 30 per day in a car, your pay range is the same, your work hours are the same, and you don't have any benefit. The only one that benefits from it is the company. So that is a quick example of technological intensification. It's the fact that companies will utilize new and advanced technology for productivity and for increased profits, and it will never, ever, ever help you with your life because the technology will never be used to better your lifestyle, but rather it will be for the company. But anyways, I'm butchering this. I should have had a script, but whatever. That's my thoughts on the 4-day work week. I think it's a great idea, but I also think you shouldn't just be waiting for it. I think everyone, if you're striving for more work life balance and you want more time on your hands, I think the best bet is to figure it out on your own, whether it be to become really really good at something and get into an industry where it allows more work life balance, or start a business on the side, or start doing something that allows you to have more time on your hands. It's going to be different for everyone. But the good news is the younger generation will have more of an opportunity than we do at the current moment. Um, but yeah, I think 5 to 10 years is a little bit too long for me to get my hopes up. Because you never know what's going to happen in 5 years. Government works slow. So I wouldn't bet on it, but I do like that this is an idea that is becoming more mainstream, and I do not agree that only lazy people want to work 4 days a week. I think due to the current circumstances of the economy and the cost of things and the how dense these big cities are, it is a lot tougher than it was in the 1970s and 80s. So you can't really compare these different types of generations. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you disagreed or agreed with it, let me know in the comments. And subscribe. Thank you.